Hello, my name is Tiffany Paovella. My edX username is tpaovella. My GitHub username is shadowsiren010. I'm recording this on January 14th, 2025, and I'm from Ossining, New York, in the USA. Today I'll be discussing a recent cybersecurity issue that took place within Microsoft's Azure AI platform. I chose this topic because it's a real-world example of how cybersecurity failures can happen even with powerful technologies like AI. It ties into our course discussions about unauthorized access, security breaches, and how exactly we can prevent these risks in the future. I'll be discussing Microsoft's Azure AI platform. A little bit of background information about it is that it offers a suite of advanced tools for artificial intelligence, including machine learning, cognitive services, and intelligent applications. Some of their key features include natural language processing, computer vision, and data analysis capabilities. The platform is designed to help organizations automate processes, gain insights from data, and build smart solutions that adapt to their specific needs. Additionally, Azure AI includes generative AI services that enable the creation of innovative content and models. Specifically, the title of the article I chose is called Microsoft Sues Hacking Group Exploiting Azure AI for Harmful Content Creation by Ravi Lakshmanan, dated January 11th, 2025. The incident I'm talking about involves a hacking group that targeted Microsoft's Azure AI platform, specifically its generative AI services. These services, like Azure OpenAI, allow users to generate images or text with the help of artificial intelligence. However, this hacking group used a technique to bypass Microsoft's safety controls and generated harmful content with the AI tools. They stole access from legitimate customers, used those stolen credentials, and then sold the ability to use Microsoft's AI systems for malicious purposes. The incident came to light in January 2025, but the hacking actually began in mid-2024, showing just how long it took for Microsoft to detect and address the attack. So let's discuss the breakdown of failure. How did this happen? The hackers got a hold of important customer information like API keys and authentication data. Think of an API key like a password that allows a program or user to access a service. When the hackers stole these keys, they could use them to log into Microsoft's AI systems without anyone knowing. They didn't just use these keys for their own use. Instead, they created a system that allowed others to use Microsoft's AI services in harmful ways. They built a specific tool called DE3U and a reverse proxy service called OAI. That allowed them to generate thousands of harmful images through Azure OpenAI by simply using the stolen credentials. What happened next was that the attackers kept trying to cover their tracks. When Microsoft started catching on, the hackers tried to delete parts of their setup, including some of the websites and codes they used to manage the attack. If we analyze the incident, we can see that this breach happened because of a combination of two things: weak security around the sensitive API keys and poor oversight of how those keys were actually being used. The stolen API keys allowed the attackers to use Azure's services in a way they weren't supposed to. If Microsoft had initially more stringent controls in place to monitor how these keys were being used, they might have caught the attackers earlier. Another issue was that Microsoft's safety measures weren't enough to stop hackers from manipulating the AI tools, especially since they had access to the backend systems through the stolen keys. This shows how even a small gap in security can lead to a really big problem. This breach is also troubling from an ethical standpoint. These AI tools were initially created to assist users in a safe and positive way, but the hackers misused them to produce harmful content. This shows how powerful technology, if misused, can actually cause a lot of harm. To avoid incidents like this in the future, there are a few things we can learn from Microsoft's breach. First, API key management needs to be much stronger. Companies should regularly check their keys for any signs of abuse or unauthorized access. They can also limit the number of people or programs who can access these keys in the first place. Secondly, using multi-factor authentication would add an extra layer of security. With MFA, even if someone steals your credentials, they wouldn't be able to get in unless they also had access to a second factor, for example, like your phone. Next, companies should have better monitoring systems in place to spot unusual behavior, like when someone is using an API key to make a lot of requests all at once, or if they're trying to access parts of the service they shouldn't be. Lastly, when it comes to AI, there should be clear rules about how it can and cannot be used. Microsoft and other AI companies should have more robust safeguards in place to ensure that harmful content can't be created, even if someone does try to bypass the rules. In conclusion, the Microsoft Azure AI breach highlights the importance of securing API keys and properly monitoring AI services. The hackers used stolen credentials to bypass Microsoft's safety measures, leading to the creation of harmful content with generative AI tools. This breach shows that even large companies with powerful security systems are vulnerable if their safeguards aren't strong enough. Moving forward, it's essential for companies to focus on improving key management, using multi-factor authentication, and creating stronger monitoring systems. We also really need to think about how AI should be used ethically and make sure that the technologies we create don't get abused in harmful ways. This specific case ties into what we've learned in this course about cybersecurity, the importance of protecting sensitive information, and understanding the risks associated with emerging technologies. If companies can take the right steps to protect their systems, we can prevent these kinds of breaches from happening again. Thank you for listening to my presentation.